Chapter 2. The children wrote in their journals forever, it seemed. Then finally, they started to finish. And at last, it was time for show and tell. My legs sprang up and they ran to me in the front of the room. Then I flung myself in the air again and I shouted, "Vacation! Vacation! I'm going on a vacation." Only too bad for me, because when I came down from flinging, I lost my balance and I landed on the floor again. This time room one laughed their heads off, and I tapped my fingers real annoyed. Okay, I've really got to knock off this flinging, I said to myself. Mr. Scary quieted everyone down. Boys and girls, the reason Junie B is so excited today is that she didn't find out about her vacation until last night. He winked at me. Okay, Junie B, tell everyone where you're going. I took a big breath. Then the words came hollering out. Hawaii, people! I'm going to Hawaii, and I'm going this very exact Sunday. All the children's mouths fell open, except for not Richie Lucille. Instead, Lucille stretched her arms in the air and she did a giant yawn. Hawaii, ho hum, been there, done that, she said, real bored. She stood up and she twirled around and she sat back down again. My friend named Shirley, she stood up too. Well, I've never been there, she said. I can't believe it, Junie B. You're really going to Hawaii? Yes, Shirley, really. This was the biggest surprise of my career, I tell you. On account of last night, Daddy said he is going on a job interview in Hawaii, and he surprised me and Mother with 2 extra tickets. I skipped around my teacher very joyful, and that's not the best part yet, I said, because Daddy told me that this trip is only for big people only. So my baby brother named Ollie, he's not even allowed to go. Room 1 looked shocked at that information. Well, said my friend Jose, you mean you're big people, Junie B? I nodded my head real fast. Oh, yes, Jose, I'm big people. All right. That's how come I got to read the travel booklet with Mother last night, and the travel booklet says Hawaii is a real, actual paradise. Mr. Scary grinned. A paradise, huh? That's a great word, Junie B. Does anyone know what a paradise is? Sheldon shot his hand in the air. I do, he shouted. Here's a picture of Junie B and Mr. Scary. My grandpa Ned Potts, he has a pair o' dice. He used to play in the casino, but then someone squealed to Grandma, so now he's not allowed to go out at night anymore. May jumped up and pointed. Sheldon said a bad word. He said a bad word. Mr. Scary stared at her. May dear, I'm sorry to ruin this special tattling moment for you, but Sheldon did not say a bad word. May stood there for a second. Well, I gave it a shot, she said. Then she did a shrug and she sat back down. After that, Mr. Scary printed the word paradise, Paradise, on the board. And he turned and looked at Sheldon. And Sheldon, my friend, the word is paradise, not dice. Sheldon did a shrug. I don't think Grandma really cares how you spell it, but she's not letting Grandpa go out at night anymore. Mr. Scary closed his eyes for a minute. Then he went to the sink and he got a drink of water. On his way back, he stopped at the world map on the bulletin board and he showed room 1 where Hawaii is. Boys and girls, these Pacific Islands are the main islands that make up the state of Hawaii, he told us. He got the world globe off the shelf and he asked me to carry it around to show the children. And I stopped at each desk. Whoa, said Roger. Hawaii looks like a bunch of little dots that are floating in the ocean. I know it, Roger, but my mother says the dots are bigger in person. Mr. Scary laughed. Oh, they're much bigger in person, Junie B. And they're not really floating, Roger, so don't worry. Our friend Junie B won't be drifting away. May did a grumpy noise. Phooey, she said. I ignored that situation. Instead, I put the globe back and I went back to the front of the room. I know other information about Hawaii too. Mother read that there are lots of flowers and birds there, and also she read that Hawaii was formed by exploding volcanoes. I thought for a second. She read a bunch of other stuff too, but I finally got bored and I just tuned her out. Mr. Scary did a chuckle. Well, volcanoes are pretty interesting, really. When volcanoes erupt, they spew out lava, and over millions of years, lava can form land masses. And as a matter of fact, there's still two active volcanoes in Hawaii right now. I stood there real quiet, and I let that information sink in my head. Then all of a sudden, I did a shiver. Okay, see, I wasn't actually aware of an eruption problem. May jumped up again. Well, I'm sure glad I'm not going to Hawaii. Who wants to get erupted by a spewy hot volcano? Getting erupted on a spewy hot volcano would ruin your whole entire vacation. Mr. Scary sucked in his cheeks. Junie B is not going to get erupted on by a spewy hot volcano, May. There are no active volcanoes on the island where Junie B is going. May thought for a minute. Okay, but let's just say that she did get erupted by a spewy hot volcano. That would definitely ruin her whole vacation. True or false? Mr. Scary went to the sink again. This time he splashed water on his face, and he dried off, and he put May back in her chair. I waved my hand to talk some more. Yeah, but I don't even tell everyone the most exciting part yet, because guess how I'm getting to Hawaii, people? Guess, guess, guess. I'll give you a hint. After that, I straightened out my arms like wings and I zoomed around room one. See me, people? I'm flying. I'm flying. That's how I'm going to Hawaii. I'm flying in a real airplane. Lucille stood up and did another yawn. Airplane schmairplane, she said. Tell me something I haven't done. Mr. Scary sat her down. This is going to be an amazing adventure for you, Junie B. And he grinned real big. And just to be sure that you bring back lots of wonderful pictures, I bought you a little gift for your trip. And he went to the closet and took out a shopping bag. And I hurried and I peeked inside, and wowie wow wow, there was a camera in that thing. I quickly pulled it out and I showed the class. Look, people, it's the kind of camera that you get at the drugstore. And I'm an excellent at this equipment because I already used one for my class field trip in kindergarten. After that, Mr. Scary reached into the bag and he pulled out another gift. And take a look at this, Junie B. This is called a photojournal. A photojournal is similar to the first grade journals we use in class each day, except a photojournal tells a story in photographs instead of words. And he opens it up for me. Do you see inside? Each page has a place for a daily picture and a caption. A caption is another name for a picture title, he explained. And he showed the album to the class. Every day Junie B will take a picture of what she did on our trip, he said. Then she will organize her photos and give them captions. And here's a picture of Mr. Scary giving Junie B the camera and the photojournal. And when she comes back to school, her photojournal will tell us the story of her exciting trip to paradise. He handed me my album. Doesn't that sound like a fun assignment, Junie B? He asked. I started to nod. Then suddenly I stopped, because something didn't sound quite right. I've tapped on my chin. I think it's that word assignment. Finally, I looked at my teacher. Okay, here's the problem. Assignment means schoolwork, and Hawaii means vacation. So children don't actually like to mix those two items together. Mr. Scary smiled. Oh, but this will be a fun assignment, Junie B. And it's a very special assignment. You're going to be room one's first official photojournalist. My ears perked up. Official? Did you say the words official? I looked at him. Official means important, right? Oh, yes. You can't get much more important than being official. I stood up a little bit straighter. Official makes you actually taller, I think. After that, Mr. Scary shook my hands and he walked me back to my seat. Oh, and don't forget to take your first grade journal to Hawaii with you, okay, Junie B? It'd be a terrible shame to miss a whole week of journal writing, wouldn't it? I looked at him real strange. Teachers and children did not have the same kind of brains. Finally, I did a sigh and I took out my journal and I dropped it in the bag with my camera. My friend named Herbert turned around very excited. You're a lucky duck, Junie B. Jones. I wish I was going to Hawaii next week, too. Me too, said Lenny. Me three, said Jose. I looked at May and she didn't say me four. Instead, she just kept on staring straight ahead and she didn't talk at all. I did a shrug and went back to my own business. Then suddenly, without warning, May shot her arms in the air and she hollered the word kaboom. And she looked at me and smiled. That was the sound of the spewy hot volcano erupting on you. I sat there for a second, and I did another shiver. May is not amusing.